Thank you for meeting me at the easel. Today we are going to be doing something of a tribute painting for a friend of mine who recently passed, and I'm very excited about it. She was dressed as one of the Cornish Pixies from Harry Potter, and she was dressed as this for the uncelebration of Harry Potter weekend, along with a couple of my other friends, and it was very exciting to see this kind of outfit come together. So I've got this traceable up. I drew it in with watercolor pencil. The benefit to using watercolor pencil is that if you make an error, you can use water and it kind of goes away, and you can paint on top of it. Yes, we're doing more art today. I had today off, so I decided to make up for the one I did yesterday was supposed to be last week's, so we're doing this week's today. And this is a 1950s take on a Cornish pixie. All right, so we'll go ahead and let's talk about our materials. As always, we have our water, we have our palette, we have paint. The colors are turquoise, light blue. Yes. I actually used kind of the shape of Tinkerbell as the model for this. I'm going to be using burnt umber, black and white, and I'm also going to use iridescent medium. Welcome! Hi! So iridescent medium is nice because you can mix it with any other color and it adds a layer of shine, or you can use it on top of a color so that way it's shiny on top of another layer. So, oh, I don't bully anybody here. That's not this kind of stream. We're also going to be using a metallic silver. All right, so we're not using a lot of colors here. This background is going to be mostly something like a wooden door or wall. You know, we're thinking like the backdrop of the castle, that kind of a color inspiration. And you see we've got our horizon line in. Like I said yesterday, we like to use a ruler for this because if it's crooked, you will notice it. It will be something where it's hanging on the wall and you're wondering why it looks like she's seasick. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll start there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some paint on my palette. Oh, I didn't cover the brushes. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Because I'm doing an 8x10 canvas again, I'm going to stick with using very small brushes. I'm going to use a 0 round, a 2 round, a 0 detail, a 6 square, and a 5/8 angle brush. Now the 5/8 angle brush is not like a size one like these are. This is an actual measurement of 5/8 of an inch. Yes, everyone gets treated nicely here. And I didn't plan for it, but I like to use a dotting tool a lot for some fun details. So while it's not in the plan, it'll probably get worked in here. Yes, I would shout at you, be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. It's important. All right, so we're going to start with our base and our bottom. We're going to do that in burnt umber, and I'm probably going to mix in a little black. And because this is so small, I don't need a lot of paint for what I'm doing here. But I will probably use whatever is left over mixed in with some white to do the upper part. So I've got black and brown mixed in here. Well, not mixed together. They're in there together. I'm going to put both on my brush at the same time, one on each corner. And I'm just going to kind of quick drag it. The idea is that you want to see both colors at once without them being totally mixed together. And at one point you may pick up a little more brown or a little more black. You don't want to over mix it. You want the colors to you want to see them individually and together. Yes, very positive. We don't do negativity here. There's enough of that in the world. We don't need to put it in our entertainment too. And especially for me, because this is sort of a tribute memorial painting. Well, yeah, we provide balance. I'm the nice one most of the time. Good morning, Telly. And I'm going to be very careful here with my line. Now, it's a good idea to anchor your wrist in one spot and only move your hand. That is a good trick to keeping your line straight. And don't neglect your sides. You do want to make sure that, unless you're choosing to frame your canvas, 6 a.m., man. I think I got up at 8 this morning because I was fortunate enough to not be at work today. It's a rare occasion for me to sleep in. Usually, even on my weekends, I'm awake pretty early. On Saturday, I think I was up at, I don't know, 5 a.m. for clarification. All right, and now I'm going to do the horizon line on this side. Yes, it is a holiday in the United States today. Today for us is Memorial Day, where we get the day off to honor those that have passed serving in the armed services. It is a federal holiday, and it usually lines up with a lot of places' last week of school. So for a lot of folks, today is their first Monday, like not having to get up and go to school. So in some ways, it's sort of a holiday for that too. All right, how do you pronounce that? Anzac, Anzac? Educate me. Spell it phonetically for me. I'm curious. And tell me a little bit about it. I want to learn. I like learning new things. Okay, so we've got sort of like this smattered background, right? And we kind of want it to feel dirty, dungy. It's, you know, it's been stepped on a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my canvas upside down real quick to paint the underside. Oh, and get this side that was facing away from the camera. Anzac? Was that the first way I said it? That's pretty cool, though. I love holidays in other countries. I recently heard about, well, I'm about to flip it back again because I'm done with the bottom. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of white in the mixture I had on my palette. If it makes you laugh and it brings you joy, then who cares? Go for it. You're not hurting anybody by laughing at me flipping my canvas. All right, and I'm gonna actually switch to my 5/8 brush for this because I'm gonna put a lot of paint on my brush. And when you're putting paint on your brush, you never want it to go all the way up to the metal. If you're putting that much paint on there, you need to switch to a longer, wider brush. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to do some additional research. I want to know. That sounds really cool. All right, so I've got the brown, the black, and the white all on my brush together. Kind of looks like Rocky Road ice cream. Ice cream. I love ice cream. You could eat ice cream forever, for every meal. So there's this flavor of ice cream that you can only get usually in like the Midwest. It's called, or Midwest of the United States. It's called Blue Moon ice cream. It doesn't have like a designated advertised like flavor of what it's supposed to taste like. It's a kind of a surprise mystery flavor. It's a secret. But It tastes a lot like pistachio ice cream, and it's sort of the color of the light blue paint I'm going to be using today. Kind of like the blue shade of cotton candy. All right, so what are Anzac biscuits? I like desserts. I want to know about desserts. Tell me about desserts. Okay, and I'm gonna probably have to switch to a different brush to get the details in here really well. But for the moment, I'm gonna just drag it up and down where I had to go horizontal for a minute and kind of fix the brush correction, the directionality there. You are not dumb. Although if you are going to paint and have a sippy, make sure, as a rule for me, my sippy is always in a closed top so I don't accidentally stick my brushes in it or drink the open cup.
Sippy? Really?
Yeah. It's called a sippy. What's a commentary on what I call my drinks? Okay. I wonder if that's anything at all like the Civil War stuff here called hardtack, where it's meant to like last forever, but it, like its namesake suggests, is not soft. So that way it would last a long time in transit. And they're really only good like soaked in something so you don't literally break off your teeth eating it. Is it anything at all like that? Because I might be a little less interested, but the historian in me is vaguely curious. All right, I'm with you on that. Tea and biscuits is great. I'm as much as I do actually drink coffee, I definitely prefer the taste of tea. And I say that because when I drink tea, I don't mix anything in it at all. It is just the tea itself. No cream, no sugar, nothing. But when I drink coffee, it's so bitter. You have to have cream and sugar. I don't know how anyone could enjoy it otherwise. Like, it's hard. Oats and golden syrup? Is that like maple syrup? All right, there's a lot of things I don't know with that ingredient list. Educate me. Is it anything at all like syrup?
It's sugar, water, and citric acid. So it's just a.
Okay, simple syrup then, like we use in cocktails. Okay, that's cool. And oats? That sounds pretty amazing. I want some of that. I'll have to look for a recipe. Anzac biscuits. I'm in. I'm invested. I want some. All right, and at this point, I'm going to have to switch from my wide brush to my square brush. As a note, when you're rinsing your brushes, make sure to never leave them in the water. It is bad for the metal part, because what happens when you leave these in... How does tea and biscuits make you want mangoes? Where is the connection? I'm curious on that. Also, I like mango juice. I like mango juice, but I don't think I've ever actually eaten just like a mango. Don't think I've ever done it. Despite being living in a relatively tropical place, it's not a very common food. All right. Do they have like the same like texture as like oranges? Do you peel them? I don't even think I've ever seen just like a raw mango before. I've only ever seen it mixed up in the juice aisle.
Even I've had.
What? I'm super fussy. I'm very picky about food and even more picky about produce. When I was in grade school, one of our assignments was to bring in a fruit you had never tried. I think I was probably in seventh grade for that, and I brought in pineapples because I had never had a pineapple. I learned that day I do not like pineapples. Not a good time. Not for this chica. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll next time I go to the grocery store, I'll actually pay attention to the produce aisle. Normally, I kind of skip it all together because that'd be too healthy for me. That would imply that I cared about my well being, of my digestive tract, anyway. I like my sweets a lot. Like, a lot, a lot. All right, and we're almost done filling in our space here, but I do need to add some more brown back to my palette because I've gotten mostly into a gray here, and I'm not digging that as a vibe overall. I want to mix it up. All right, so, oh, that makes sense. If you can't cut it in half, no wonder you can't do it into an even number. I was wondering. I like things in even numbers, but if you can't split it down the middle, then clearly an even number is never going to be a thing to happen. All right, and because I've got so much wet going on there, I'm going to wind up flipping this upside down to get a better access to the top of my painting. Making the silly sausages. Nice, thank you. That is very sweet. All right. If it makes you laugh, be prepared. I'm flipping. Chuckle alert incoming. Aww. Hey, like I said, if it makes you happy, I don't care if you giggle or laugh at me. I can take it. I'm a big, strong girl. All right. And part of the reason that we're doing this sort of like washed out look is because the picture was taken against a backdrop, like the original reference image of like this old wooden door. I mean, obviously, this is Universal Studios, so it wasn't a real old wooden door, but it was a door that they had distressed intentionally. All right. And I'm almost ready to switch over to my 2 round to get the rest of these details in. So don't want to risk ruining her pretty little pixie hair. But I am going to throw in a little random smattering of some white in some places, just so it looks a little more distressed, and a little black. All right, and now, well, I've got it upside down and easy to get to this side over here. I'm going to get my sides, make sure they're thoroughly covered. Because like I said, I'm not big on framing my artwork. I like to just hang it up on the wall as is. it's less work. And I'm all about the less work, at least when it comes to when everything is finished. That, and I think I would find choosing a frame a little too stressful. That'd be like choosing a house. Identifying negative self-talk can help you stop it. And now I'm going to get the top up here. When I was in college, one of my psychology assignments was to learn to juggle. And you had to practice until you could get it. And the idea was that you were supposed to be learning about how negative you are on yourself when you're learning a new skill. And that was really sort of kind of pivotal. And when I was, expanding my creativity. I don't know about, well, if you enjoy it, I guess go for it. But if it starts to ever make you feel bad, stop doing it to yourself. Okay, we'll make that as a caveat. If you enjoy it, do it until it stops being enjoyable. All right, so we've got a super distressed background. I do need to go in with my little detail brush to get into this little area here. Oh, you're moving too? Well, make sure you label everything so you can find the important stuff when you get to the next place. Nothing stinks more than having to go through 20 boxes to find the one thing. Bonus if you wind up with boxes labeled with really hilarious things and combinations like, I don't know, booze and sugar, or random things that'd be in your cupboard together that don't make sense together as an item, but would absolutely be next to each other in your cupboard. Those are hilarious. All right, and I am going to take a minute and I'm going to kind of do a couple of darker spots right kind of around the body, just because there'd be this idea of like a shadow. And so I just want a little bit of that in there. No, that is not okay. You do not do that. You have to label boxes when you move. Like, that is a horrible pet peeve. I had to color code my boxes. Like, that terrified me. Do not do that. I'm now worried for you. Okay. All right, I'm pretty happy with where that is right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start color blocking in the rest of her. I may go back in and do a couple of more like little interesting things in the background after this is dried. No, you do not do that, especially if you've got pets. What if they eat it? Like, what if that's dangerous? Or what if it's messy? Then you gotta help clean up. I mean, you help make the mess. You gotta help clean up. Like, them's the rules. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and color block in the main part of the dress. Yeah, but you set them up to make the mess. You set them up to make the mess. You're both responsible, regardless of who opened the door. Just be nice. Just be nice. What goes around comes around. All right, and I'm going to use my 2 round to just kind of fill the space in for the moment. We're going to come back in and do some things with this after the first layer dries. Most art has sort of like an ugly phase to it. And a lot of the time, that's when you're doing this color blocking where things are not going to make a lot of sense at first. So you laugh when things fall out of the cupboard on you too? All right. As long as whoever is living with you finds it funny, then go for it. My husband's always protecting me from other negative influences. Got to protect the sunshine. I bully nobody. Be nice. That, and I like your screen name. I like that. I'm actually planning a really cute vintage Halloween dress that has a petal bust. That means that at the bust it kind of peels back like a flower, and I'm planning for that part to be bat shaped, like bat wings. I'm very excited. That's one of the things I'm going to work on in July.
Oh, poor bat. For context, bat is extremely white, and when the monitor goes very white, bat's face gets blown out, and you can't see her nose anymore.
That's not nice. I think you're cool, Bat. I think you're cool. I think being nice is super cool. My dress up group and my sewing group is some of the nicest, most positive people I know. And I like to exude a little bit of that back out into the world. All right, there are real life evil people that also look like Voldemort, though. Let's be real. There are easier ways to make fun of that particular like character using real life people that are also not nice and deserve to be mocked. Just not on my stream. All right, and I'm going to put a little bit of white in here just to kind of soften up the line. We don't want it ever to be a solid color, just while the paint is still wet. And the reason we're doing this is because the way the light hits fabric means that portions of it are always going to appear lighter. Well, you guys are so entertaining. It's fun to talk at the same time. It definitely is a nice change from when I tried doing this last year. And I struggled to it because there was never anyone to talk to. Okay, and then we're going to do just another little layer of white. We're just going to keep overlapping it sort of here at the center, because here's the center of my painting, and that's where the light is. All right, now I'm going to rinse my brush, and I'm going to go ahead and color block in my wings. All right, so I'm going to use the light blue for that. Well, everybody's mind is special. Nobody's mind is a copy of anybody else's. If it is, we've got bigger problems in the world to be solving. Okay, and we're going to start off with just this little bit of smattering of this light blue in the center, and then I'm going to dilute it with white. And for my white, I like to use a flow white, which is like akin to like student level paint because it's thin. It means it blends really easy. Smattering is usually like a shaking of something. Like it's a really great effect with a toothbrush to put paint on your toothbrush and then just flick it on there. It makes great galaxy art. But yes, smattering is usually like a splatter or a smear. It's a fun word to say. That's probably the word I was probably thinking of yesterday when I couldn't think of my favorite funny word, smattering. Smattering is my favorite word. I like it. If it's a mean word or a word that would get you in trouble, then absolutely do not say it. If it doesn't fall into one of those categories, go for it. Just don't get me or you in trouble. It's convolvulated. That is a fun word. I was recently rewatching Mary Poppins Returns, and I was a little bummed that they didn't do supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Wait, there was a kangaroo outside? What? Wait, hold the phone, roll back, play that, roll that bit back again. I want to hear about this. I want to hear about a kangaroo. Whenever I think about them, I always think about the old vintage cartoons.
My mind always goes straight to Kangaroo Jack.
I think that might be an age thing separation for us. I don't know who Kangaroo Jack is. For context, I was born in the late 80s. And sometimes I feel every bit my age, and sometimes I feel a lot older. I definitely did not have like your typical like upbringing. Will it get you in trouble, man? If it's not gonna get you in trouble, go ahead and say it. I want to know. I'm curious. You know what? I believe it. Um, Same, honestly, I think koalas are scarier than people let on to. They always seem so relaxed when they're eating their snacks, but the minute, like they're just out and about and not eating something, actively eating something, they're mean. They're mean little shit. Cute, but mean. Yes, no bullying. I may have missed somewhere in there, but no bullying. We're not about that. We are sunshine and happiness. Yeah, they're relaxed when they're oh, I lost the word, but the snacks that they like to eat, the food they like to eat,
high.
make them high. Yeah,
When they're not high, they are
aggressive.
extremely aggressive
Yeah,
and will rip your face.
truth, truth. Right, and I'm gonna use this. Yes, yes, eucalyptus. That's the word. My mom's allergic to eucalyptus, actually, so danger for her if she ever wants to go to the outback. Yeah, that's the right spelling. I use it at eucalyptus oil a lot for sinus issues. Very helpful. We are about life affirmations, all positive things. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. Tell me something good that happened today, or something good you want to happen today for those that are just starting their day. It should not be a struggle to be nice. It should be easy. It should be effortless. You need more practice. Practice. Practice being nice. Just for me. I mean, if nothing else, do it for me. This is the wholesome spot on the internet. I believe you can do it. I can believe you can be nice. I think you can do it. What? What? No. Really? I won't be honest. Some of y'all have some weird redeems. That's like I can see being silly, like doing
I'm
silly things.
99% sure it's Yoda's cake.
Hmm. I've got no response for that. We'll leave that alone right where it is.
You should have heard him when he said no live on stream to that. It was a very unconvincing, high pitched no.
All right then. No bullying on that either. That's what they like. That's what they like.
No, we don't kink shame.
Nope. If they like that, they like that. I'm not about to say one thing or another about that. Everyone's got their own thing. All right, the meanest thing I've ever seen him personally redeem is some stupid like helmet thing, and there was a costume involved. And why was there a costume involved? And why is it possible to redeem two things like that at the same time? My goodness. No. Just no. Yes, yes, yeah. That's the meanest thing I have ever seen him do. And I'm gonna be honest, that was pretty mean. I felt bad for her. I don't even remember we were doing that. I think we were playing a game, I think. We were playing
We were
Resident
in the middle
Evil.
of something. I saw Hyrule, so I was like, you want to see something funny?
Yep. I think that's exactly how that happens.
I made her put everything on, laughed real quick, then we turned off the stream and continued what we were doing.
Yeah, I feel bad. We didn't even watch that for the whole time that it was redeemed for. It was literally for just like 45 seconds. I am so sorry, guys.
Hyrule also has a squat redeem that I redeem quite often so that her boyfriend could potentially have a big booty girlfriend.
Oh God, no. I don't see me ever doing a thing like that. Mostly because I don't use Discord. That's not my jam. Not my jam. That might be a little too much social interaction for me. There's a limit. There's a limit to how much I can take. Oh, I just can't believe I said that on a stream. Okay. So now I'm going to blend in just a little bit of light into her hair, just so it has a little bit of depth. All right, have a happy lark. Right, and she's got kind of like this aerial flip going on for her hair. So what I'm going to ultimately do is go back in and kind of lighten up this one area, and then go back with the dark and kind of outline it. All right, yeah. Fat ass is not being mean. That's not being mean. It's not. Sometimes you just have a really glorious butt. Freely admit it. I feel like I've got a glorious butt. Although don't think any of you will ever see that because I do painting streams and you will probably only ever see my hands. Although maybe I should start doing manicures. Nah, wasted. It'd be ruined with acrylic paint. It's true. It's true. You are not being slandered. Yes, glorious butts forever. Glorious butts forever. We need a big that. It's like how Marvelous Mrs. Maisel has tits up. I've got clams up with a couple of my other friends. That's a whole different thing. But glorious butts forever. Hashtag. Go for it. I like it. Game on. All right, now I'm going to go for my detail brush. And I'm going to go ahead and start kind of like filling in her tights here. And yes, my sewing group is crazy. We love to dress up and go into the parks. It is Florida. It is usually 1,000,000,000 degrees, but even when in that, we show up in tights, wigs, corsets, petticoats. It doesn't matter how hot it gets. We are dressed up and going hard for it. I love it. There's no replacement for the satisfaction you get when a huge family of strangers wants to stop and take your picture. Like, that's the best feeling in the world. That's how you know you made a great outfit. Like, when everyone wants to have your photo. There's no substitute for the kind of mood boost that gives you. And while I've got this area, I'm going to go ahead and just put a few little light strokes of this light blue in. Just a few little lines in a couple of places using my detail brush. I did actually have that happen to me when I was in the United Kingdom. I was only there for like 4 days, but I was there leading right up to Christmas. And I was in a like patchwork Christmas skirt. It was all red and green and it had like 60 pieces to the skirt. They were all little tiny squares, like itty bitty squares, like tiny. And it was a whole skirt made of them. And these cute little old ladies kept wanting to take pictures with me and they followed me into a couple of the museums. It was really super cute. And I'm going to add just a little bit of highlights up here in her hair too. Well, most of my friends are probably double my age, like in the real world environment, because of the kind of things I'm interested in, the kind of movies and music and whatnot. Most of my friends wind up being probably in their 60s. I don't know the Celsius. But my hubby can look into that for you. Oh, okay. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting in a little bit of her flesh tone in here. And I'm using some of the stuff I use for the background, just mixed in with a little more white to get a little more flesh tone. So that is the burnt umber, black, and white. But it's going to be concentrated with a little more white. And there are portions of the US that catch on fire every year, too. Oh, yeah, they really get hot. I still can't believe that there are places in the US where there is still snow on the ground. Like, that is super weird for me to imagine. I was looking at a reel the other day after a friend said they were going to be visiting Minnesota. So naturally, you know, I find all the things on Minnesota, right? And there was their lake was still frozen over. There was like 12 inches of snow on the ground, and I was like, it's nearly June, and they still got snow. Like, ugh, no. All the no. Not only no, but like hell no. Okay, and because I don't want the shape of her arm to get lost here, what I'm going to do is go and trace the arm in the darker brown. Grab my reference image so I can see it closer. Okay, so we've got it kind of like this. Right, so you don't want to lose the shape of where her hand is. Yeah, I don't like to sleep by myself. That sucks. It's hard to stay asleep. But you can't hog the covers. You can't hog the covers. I can't sleep without a blanket. On a singular motorbike, 3 during bike week when people are drunk and they make bad decisions. Oh, well, then you're going to need your own blanket. Because no blanket hoggers. No blanket hoggers. You need your own blanket. Designated blankets, maybe color coded. So that way I can be mad at you if, you wake up with the wrong color blanket. Like if I have like green and you've got purple and you wake up with the green one, I have the designated right to be angry about it. All right, and this part of the arm back here will be a little darker because we're telling our eyes that it is towards the back. I love cats! Cats are so cool! We can't have them because we've got dogs, but I love cats. Cats are so amazing. They purr. They're just so happy. All right, what did the mic do? I'm afraid to know what I sounded like.
You peeped it out.
Hubby to the rescue. Fixing all my stuff for me.
There you
I don't know what that means, but I'm sure he's gonna laugh at me about that later. Oh, swaddling kitties. So cute. I love cats. I want a cat so badly. I want a cat so badly. I have to go to PetSmart and pet the kitties. Get my kitty fix. Aww. We've got a puggle. Oh, oh, yes, yes. Volunteer is tribute. Volunteer is tribute. Oh, I love a good meow. I love a good meow. Love it. So cute. Well, then you gotta come visit. Get your passport updated. I got theme parks. I got theme parks coming out my butt here. Because I've got a glorious fat ass. What? Theme parks are awesome. I'll never, never say, go to the best place in the world and not visit a theme park. Like, how dare you? That's a lot of faith. I don't know. I might not.
You're over halfway.
If I am, it's only a testament to how popular you are. All right, now we're going to go ahead and start doing a little bit of detail work on our shoe. I don't know if I can do a bark.
Please don't bark.
Yeah, I think I might destroy my mic if I try to bark. Because the pitch would be astronomical. Like, you would probably crack. It would be really squeaky. Right, and we're using our detail brush for this because this spot is really small.
Fans wanted you to see this picture.
Okay, taking a timeout for a photo. Hold on. Oh, cute. My life is complete. Life is complete. That was epic. Thank you. So cute. So cute. Maybe I'll paint Hermione's cat in the next one. Crookshanks doesn't get nearly enough love. Especially since that cat knew that that mouse was no good from the get-go. Like, good on the cat. It knows what's up. The dogs I had growing up were always more like cats. They were very small because my mom was allergic, so we couldn't have indoor cats. So I kind of just befriended all of the ferals, feral children, feral cats, feral teenagers. Evidently, I have a fascination with things that have gone off the rails. All right. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of detail work in my wings now while I'm waiting for this area. Feral teenagers, that's you. All right. In this case, I'm not going to consider feral as a bullying thing because I think that is a compliment. It means you are just being you. And yeah, I'm 100% a feral wife. I do what I want, right? I do what I want. And I'm going a little off book here from my sketch because I just kind of loosely decided what these lines were going to be. The wings that she was using for this cosplay were made by a friend of mine. And she did it using a Cricut and wire. And it was so cool when it was done. She used vinyl and then some watered down acrylic paint and heat sealed it. And it was just the dopest thing. I'm going to ultimately go over areas of this with the silver and the iridescent medium, but I kind of wanted to get this idea of the skeletal structure of the wing. Apart from maybe like Crookshanks, any ideas for what to paint next week? Because I'm hoping to regularly paint usually on Sundays. For now, I am just taking random ideas, but as it becomes more popular, eventually I will move these kind of things more to Patreon for Patreons to be able to select the theme for that week. That's a cool flex. That is a cool flex. Meowing, cool flex. Go for it. Do it. Love it. Here for it, support it. All right, so we've got kind of the skeletal structure of our wings in place. So we've got, it's starting to sort of look like something now, but I still got to finish adding in the neckline of this dress. Some ideas I've had throwing out there were like dragons. I'm really big into fantasy. I don't like to do like people a whole lot, so I, I'm thinking probably no. 86 that might make my hubby uncomfortable, and I want to be alive tomorrow. So, no, not that one. Choose something else. If you haven't already done so, you should check out my previous painting portfolio for some of the Disney villains I did. I do love to do pop cultures. Oh, sunflowers? Okay. I did a really cute one a couple of years ago of my niece, kind of an abstract one in a sunflower field of a local sunflower farm, and it was gorgeous. So yeah, I could see me doing sunflowers again. Okay. So next, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add a little more into the neckline of this dress because it's got more going on than what I've displayed so far. And I'm going to pull up my sketch here so I've got it close to me for reference. Okay, so it has this little kind of strip that goes here, and then it has an opening to an off the shoulder sleeve. Yeah, I think the shipping for that would be pretty pricey. Maybe not on canvas, but maybe on canvas paper, but you'd have to stick it in some kind of a frame. Because that, at least, it would ship flat. It probably wouldn't be as bad, but I don't know, we'd have to look into that. That might still not be doable. Right, that part should be connected there. So what this dress was, it had an opening in the sleeve before continuing down. Like, it was a cute little like cold shoulder bit. And this outfit was so cute. There were three ladies dressed the same. The woman who made the wings was in one of them, and then my friend, and then my friend's daughter. And they were so beyond precious. Aw, thank you. I am happy to provide a little happy slice on the internet. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of this light blue just in the middle of the sleeve so you can kind of tell that it's not all mixed in together. And the same on this side, just a little something there, just so that it's known. You better love your friends. They're good to you. And by extension, me. They're very good to me. Welcome, and I'm glad you're here. All right, and I'm just going to do a little bit of light brush strokes, just kind of towards the bottom here. I really want it to be like evident that the sun is hitting this and that this has a texture. Okay. A nickname, huh? Am I gonna be embarrassed? Am I gonna be embarrassed?
No.
All right.
You'll understand Yoda a lot. It's a very accurate description of him.
Okay. I'm a little worried for you. I'm a little worried for you. Oh, well, if it's not a nice nickname, I can always try bullying him into giving you a nicer nickname. I don't know if that'll be effective, but I can try.
It won't be.
So I didn't think so. And I'm going to use a little white here too, because I want to show like that there's this light and this texture up on our blouse too. Oh, okay. That's not nice. That's not nice. That's not nice. We are not allowing that here. If you prefer something besides man's, let me know. But now I'm finding it, now that seeing that whole connection there, I'm curious how you chose your screen handle. No, no, you are so awesome, and I am so glad you are here. And not you.
Real
Okay.
man really got you, huh?
Only because man is literally in his handle. That's the only reason I laughed so hard. Oh my god, that's not where I wanted this to go. Okay then. Thank you, Lil Bat. Thank you, Lil Bat. But let's dial it back just a little bit. Let's dial it back. Good energy. I'm here for it, but let's dial it back. I think he's already uncomfortable enough. Well, maybe not professional, but just continue to be nice. Let's be nice. All right, so I'm going to bust out my iridescent medium here, and I'm going to roll it over the top of my wings. I want my wings to be shiny because they're sparkly. They're partially see-through. They're super dope. And I kind of want a pair for myself, so now I'm going to have to ask her to make me some because I don't have a Cricut. That's more work than I want to do. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick up the sparkly, but this is very, very shimmery. It's magic. It's magical. But I want to make sure that it does not get on her dress. Like the magic is on the wings. All right. Immaturity is cool, actually. Immaturity is cool. Just keep the fart jokes to about yourself. You know, follow the rule of only make fun of yourself on that one. I mean, if you're going to be immature, fart jokes, poop jokes, all that sort of number one. All right, who is Rue? Tell me about Rue.
Rue's Discord name and Twitch name is Smiley Rue.
Aw, that's cute. I like it. Is she actually smiley, or is this like one of those like
non-stop smiles?
you can never be too nice to a person? I mean, wait a minute, rephrase. You can be, but only if they're like beating you in the face and you hand them like the broom to keep beating you. I mean, don't do that. At that point, you'd be a jerk. Okay, so we've got our sparkly wings. No, I don't want to shut the fuck up. And don't tell anybody else to shut the fuck up either. That's not okay. Not okay, dude. We're not doing that. We're doing like parent rules. You're not allowed to call people stupid, and you can't tell people to shut up. All right, and now I'm going to open up the silver paint that I haven't touched in a long time, so it's kind of grody, actually. We need a positive space. All right, well then maybe I need to have a talk with your parents. Can I send home a progress report? Do you need a progress report, mans? Do you need me to yell at your parents? I mean, I'm not really good at yelling at people. Not really. It's not really my jig. But, you know, I'm all about calling out bad things. If you got a planner, I will stamp your planner. Send you home with a gold star. I think I just carbon dated myself. I'm not sure how I feel about that. All right, I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole, mans. I'm good. There we go. The silver paint finally decided to live. So this is paint like food has expirations. Um, when you see it start to come out like this, you know it's going bad on you. It's no longer smooth. It's very lumpy and gross. But we're gonna put some water on there and see if we can salvage it. If not, we'll use like a light gray, like a really, really light gray, and mix it into the iridescent medium, which is I'm thinking what we're going to have to do because that did not work. That paint did go bad, and that stinks. That's sad face, super sad face. But we will just make gray and put iridescent in it, and then it'll be almost like having metallic. Next best thing. I want to know. I want to know what's happening in the Discord. All right, maybe actually no, I don't want to know. I'm not being nosy. I don't need to be nosy. I'm good. Okay, so I've got sort of a light gray mixed up on my palette, and I'm gonna mix it in with some of my iridescent since my metallic silver didn't quite work out. It had expired, and that is very sad. But we move on. We make alternate choices, and we make do. Art continues on. Now, nothing ever good from ever came from being nosy. All right, and I'm going to not follow my white lines directly. I'm going to go right beside them to create sort of a shadow. I don't know. Nothing good has ever come from me being nosy. You always find out things you don't want to know. Not any that I can remember, but that's part of the reason why I like having a positive space is because people are a lot more likely to remember negative things than positive things. And that is actually part of the reason why the news in the US is so skewed. Because negative news is more popular, more memorable, more hyped. Well, I suppose that's at least a nice way of looking at it. I get like rage induced with the news. Like the news is only allowed to play for so long around me because everything goes negative real fast. There's too much bad stuff in the world. And I am very easily perturbed. Perturbed, that's a fun word. Oh, no, no, I am not good when I'm angry. When I go rage, it's really not good. Like, legit make people cry. It's not a good time for anybody, and then I feel like a jerk. And then I have to apologize, and I hate apologizing for behavior that I meant in the moment. Even if I knew I was wrong. Like when you're angry, when you got that blind rage, you're living in that rage in that moment and you can't see anything else. Blinders. And it's not fun to live like that. Okay. So now I'm going to start working a little on her face. Yeah, I'd like to say that I grew up, but mostly I just pretend. I think I'm still a child. 17 plus something. We'll go with that. I'm 17 plus something. Maybe mostly something. I'm not sure anymore. Well, all right. So I'm going to outline her eyes. And her eyes are really big and expressive. Legally in the US, 17 is a minor. You're a minor at 17. So I meant that in like the legal sense, not any one way about it. I am not name calling. I was just using something that is a legal precedent in the country I live in. For years, I would introduce myself as 17 plus like 4 or 5 or 6, whatever. Oh, I am 100% childish. I own it. I own it. I love it. Adulthood sucks. Like, who would choose that? I don't think anyone would choose to be an adult. All right, now I'm going to put, she's kind of looking down, so I've got a little bit of a pupil there. And when you do the other one, you want to make sure you don't put it to the center, otherwise you're making her look cross-eyed. You want to keep it consistent, her eyes facing down. I don't think I was actually any measure of adult until I was nearly 27. Like, I don't even think I was still just like a horrible teenager until I was 27. All right, and I'm going to give her brown eyes. And I'm going to warm them up with a little bit of white. I'm unfamiliar with that expression. Do you mean like literally destroy your teeth? I'm so very lost. What is biting a brick? Ow! Ow! My teeth hurt just thinking about it. See a dentist. Please. See a dentist. Actually, I need to see a dentist. All right, and in this particular case, I don't think she was doing the blue eyebrows. So I'm going to just give her some nice light brown eyebrows. Please don't. Please don't. My teeth hurt just in sympathy. All right, don't do it. I don't want to go to the dentist unnecessarily. I'm kind of phobic about the dentist. The dentist scares the crap out of me. I am a whiny brat about the dentist. True facts. Okay, and I'm gonna do just a little simple little button nose. Just a little swish there. I've always been scared of the dentist. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah, she was wearing blue lipstick for this, so I need to give her blue lips. Okay, so a little bit of that shape there, and then extend it out to a smile. Oh, what kind of mask was that? Is this like some oh, what was the villain in Batman? Scarecrow. Scarecrow. Super scary. Super scary. I'm going to add a little bit of white here into the tights, just so that it's not consistently all one color. I do not know what that is, but I'm sure my hubby will show me.
Screen.
Oh, that's his name? I didn't know that had a name. Why? I mean, I know it's a really popular like costume mask, but super strange. Okay, and now I'm going to add like a little bit of petticoat trim down here at the bottom because we love our Malcolm Modes petticoats. Malcolm Modes is great because they're super fluffy. They make you have a full-on cupcake effect in your dresses. Not a spokesperson for them, just really love them. Their Madeline petticoat could stand up on its own. It's so full. Great investment pieces for period cosplay. Okay, and I'm going to finish and fill it in because she let this peep out the bottom a little bit for a costume effect. Normally, your petticoat wouldn't necessarily show underneath your dress. But in this case, it's like a cute little lace trim at the bottom. All right, and now I'm going to outline the wings in the dark blue, just so that they stand out a little more. Thank you. I love dresses. I didn't actually own my first pair of pants until I was into middle school. I don't know, 12, the first time I owned a pair of pants. Just really liked dresses, and they weren't something that was, you couldn't find pants in our household growing up. Like, it just wasn't the thing you seen. Probably just because of the age of my parents and grandparents. It was just uncommon. All right, what are you discombobulated about? Okay, now I'm going to outline the other one, and then I'm going to start doing some work on her hands. I really want this to like stand away from the background. Like I want it to be very obvious she's in the foreground here. Oh yeah, no. If a woman wants to wear pants, by all means, go for it. Technically, I'm wearing like yoga pants today because I'm lazy. But no, as a personal choice, I only own one pair of pants. I just don't care for them for me. But firmly support anybody else's decision to wear whatever they want to wear, regardless of style, color, or gender. Wear whatever makes you happy. It is not my business. One person's joy. Exactly. As all the necessary bits are covered, I don't care what it looks like. I mean, if it looks ugly, I might be like, hey, you might want to change, but that's still a personal choice. Like, should still look cute, whatever you decide, but still a personal choice. And one's definition of cute is probably different than another. And that is why there's so many choices. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, hun. You make some questionable fashion choices.
I'm pretty and I know it.
Yes, you're absolutely pretty, but your wardrobe sucks. Love you. Right, and I'm putting just a little bit of highlight on her ears here. It's true. It's true, especially when we could wear the same clothes. He could look so good. Okay, and now I'm going to start highlighting her arms a little bit. Because I really want it to be clear that this is in the front. And I'm going to rinse off my brush because I picked up a little blue that I didn't mean to pick up in that, so I got to correct it a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to put a little on this side. And then I'm going to use a little bit of a darker brown to sort of separate the fingers a little bit. I like baggy pajamas, like, for around the house. Yes, that is the only thing is if you do go to the parks with me, you have to be dressed up because if you're not part of my picture taking game, it's just game over. Like that's the whole point of going to the parks is for all of the gorgeous photos. I did a photo shoot recently to help a friend sell a dress that was themed for Sally Skellington, and it was so fun. I posted those pictures up on my Facebook page. Maybe at some point I'll cycle a few of them onto Instagram, but that album had like 180 photos on it. It would just be a lot. Well, that makes sense if you work from home to dress comfortable, though. I can see the value in that. I worked from home for a number of years, and I only dressed up when I needed to get my war paint on. Like when you had a meeting and you had to deal with stressful people, so you wore your favorite clothes just so you could handle the interaction. I think that was for a while the only time I ever bothered to put on makeup was when I was dealing with my war paint. No, it's not bad. Not my personal choice, but it's not bad. It's what you wanted to wear. Okay, and I'm going to paint her other fingers on this side. Just kind of drawing in the suggestion of them. If you didn't exactly, oh, okay, I was about to ask, if you didn't exactly want to wear it, then why did you? Wait, when you say slippers, I was picturing like house slippers. Do you mean flip-flops? My Luna is very loud. My Luna is very loud. All right, flip-flops are not slippers, all right? When you're saying slippers, I'm thinking you're meaning like house slippers that have like just your toes covered. Oh no, flip-flops are real shoes. Flip-flops are real shoes. Those are not the same as like house slippers. I live in Florida. The flip-flops is what you wear all the time. Sandals are life. Life. Like why have anything else? You just need those in every color. And then maybe some platform sandals to go with them. You know what? I can totally see why that would be a thing. That makes sense. I mean, from the whole shape of it and all that. Oh, yeah, my dog would probably scare you in person then. She's not mean, but she sounds scary. I used to work at a veterinary clinic, and I am still a little afraid of large dogs because the bites hurt. But yeah, I feel you on that. I like other people's dogs. I'm always a little bit leery about it. All right, and all I have to do is basically finish dealing with my fingers, and I'm going to do a little bit of detail work, and then for the most part, we're approaching finished. Not quite there, but we're approaching finished. And I want to create a little bit of a shadow on the underside of her arm. I think the spelling was correct. I only saw it for a second and then it disappeared. Yes, yes, that's the correct spelling. There we go. All right, so we've got our underside of our arm kind of shadowed out. And now we're going to go in and add, we're going to play with the background a little bit. So I want to put a few like shapes that suggest like recessed paneled walls. Yes, makeup compliments are the best. I've done some really intense makeup before and wear it into the parks. I had participated in a monster beauty pageant. That's right. I said what I said, a monster beauty pageant. And I was dressed up as an original character I designed myself. And her name is Widow Fang. And she is a spider queen, a very elegant spider queen. And I had eyes all over my face, giant teeth sticking out either side of my mouth. Like it was epic. It took me days to wash it all the way off because the makeup just would not come off. Gotta love that theater quality makeup. All right. I gotta find my chalk real quick. There we go. Regular piece of school chalk. So I'm gonna use a little ruler here. And I'm going to do a little recessed thing from the 4 to the 8 and then another line over here from the 4 to the 8 because I want to keep it consistent because I'm thinking this is going to be like a paneled door. Right, and keep it consistent. And it would stop sort of right there. I'm just going to mark the line. Four to the 8. And 4 to the 8. Oh, that did not work out the same. There we go. And a little bit of water will remove that chalk line there. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to create this idea of like a recessed wood panel, like wainscoting on a door. Wainscoting, wainscoting. I'm actually not sure of the correct pronunciation on that. I would have to ask Google. And I'm going to put a little bit of water on my brush. And I think I'm going to switch temporarily back to my square to get a nice clean line. And to make it easy for myself, I'm going to turn it sideways. Okay. You know, if it makes you smile, I will flip this canvas like over and over and over again for you. Like we can do that. We can make that a thing. I can rotate it again and again. The pixie in the painting is going to get seasick, but that's okay. I don't think she suffered from motion sickness. Okay, so we've got one panel in. Absolutely. Go for it. I don't care if you laugh. In fact, I encourage it. It's healthy. It's good for the body. I don't remember where I read it in a study, but I know I read it in a study. So it must be true. Actually, don't point out the flaws in that logic. I see the holes already. It's fine. All right, in that case, I'll flip her again. How do you like them apples? All right. And the best part is after I'm done, if there's still any chalk showing, I can just wipe it off. Wait, are you getting motion sickness, mans? So I still have to flip this back the right way at least one more time. Who cares if they think you are? I mean, if they're your parents, they probably already know. My parents knew there was something deranged with me from very early. There was no hiding that. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to flip it really slow and soft then when the next time I have to flip it.
I don't think mans can handle a slow rotation.
See, I'm trying not to laugh because I'm trying not to destroy my mic again because I don't know how he fixed it.
I just turned down the gain.
I don't know what that meant. I don't even know what that means. All right. All right. All right. You ready? You ready? You ready?
Whack.
Fucking hell. No, I'm the one who's laughing. All right, and now that I've kind of created this little bit of drama in my background, I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some white and black because there would be kind of a shadow on this. But I'm not going to go all the way around. I'm just going to do a couple of areas. See, maybe this is why you don't need to go to a theme park. Maybe you get the easy thrills. Like you seem to be very easily amused. That's a good thing. Okay, and then over here, continue this. And then one more in this corner. That only happens if you get used to going to the same one over and over again. That's part of the reason why I like to go to like be a pass holder for one park for like a year and then swap over to another park and ignore the other park completely. until like a year or two has passed. So that way you don't get burned out on it. Because, yeah, when you ride the same roller coasters over and over and over again, it does lose its impact. And that does make me sad. But that is part of the reason why I love the state I live in, because I have access to so many coasters that there's always a way to keep it fresh. And if I ever get sick of Florida, I suppose I could bite the bullet, go to Georgia and do Six Flags. I mean, if I was desperate, I guess I could do that. But then I'd have to go to Georgia. More importantly, then I'd have to drive to Georgia. Florida is a big state. Like, it's a lot to drive from one side, like even from central Florida to get to central Georgia. Like, both those states are not small. All right, and now I'm going to come across to this opposing corner that I've created the shadow, because once I create a shadow, I have to create a highlight. I think it is, actually. I think Florida is larger than England. I think in physical size you are correct. But I would have to double check. All right, and we don't have a shadow or a highlight on this one because it's behind her. Yes.
30% bigger.
All right. Hubby came in. He says it is 30% bigger. Florida is 30% bigger than the United Kingdom. So yeah. 7 hours is a long time to be in a car. And I don't even think that would get me from my house to Six Flags. I think it'd be closer to 9 or 10 hours. Not a good time. It would mean going one to Georgia and two having to stay at a hotel in Georgia. Like, all things I would not really be keen on unless there was any other alternative. Oh yeah, like your density over there, your population density is through the roof. I do zoning regulations for the city I live in, and we have requirements of our land development regulations for how many people are allowed to be living in a specific area. I wonder what land development regulations look like in the United Kingdom. I'd be curious about that, like rules about how close together certain segments are, like certain areas of the country are allowed to live. Like, that is fascinating to me. All right, I'm still not quite happy whether she still needs some more details. So I'm going to put a little more work into her. Terraced houses? I'm not sure what that means. You mean like apartments, like flats on top of flats? Or do you mean like staggered housing, where like a walk-up apartment where you've got like a townhouse and there are different people houses? Oh, we call those row homes. We call those row homes. Row homes or townhomes. All right, I'm going to throw a little bit of some white in with her highlights here, because this was a synthetic wig. It had a lot of shine to it. It looked really great for the photos. I would be curious to know that too. And I'm going to continue this little swirl shape with my highlight, because I don't want that to get lost. Yes. I did notice when I visited, I went on the train, that there were parts that seemed to be completely uninhabited. I'm wondering if maybe there is a greater level of conservation, like concern there, like more efforts to conserve land for wildlife. Like, that might be a factor in why the population is what it is. Yes. And I had wondered if that was just because they couldn't make it habitable at all, or if it was, in fact, just a preserve for nature. I wondered about that when I was there. And I'm going to continue to add a little more highlighting. Most acrylic painting comes down to layers and layers to create something that looks breathtaking. Oh, okay. That's cool. And I'm putting a little bit of this highlight on the sleeve. And I'm going to start putting in some straight white into my dress here, adding a little more texture. And with this, I'm just doing long, thin strokes with barely any paint on it. This is called dry brushing. My brush is very dry. There's no water on it, so it creates this very like wispy effect. Yes. Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, and now I'm going to add some of the same kind of shading a little bit into the shoe. Not a lot because there's not a lot of focus there, but it still wouldn't be a solid color. And a little of the same kind of stroke detail into the tights. And I'm just going to add my music notes, and then I think I'm ready to call it. I think she's ready. I think she's done. Okay, so I'm going to put some music notes in here because this is a singing Cornish pixie. And I'm going to fill in the holes. And we'll drop a little note over here. And we'll put a couple more. I like using the student level whites and blacks just because for how smooth they work. So I gotta ask, in is it something that you see across the whole country where they've got signs in both Japanese, Chinese, and English? Because I had seen that in Sydney and I wondered if that was something that was really prevalent everywhere. Because if so, that's really amazing. Like I'd seen in Quebec that they have French and English because they have two national languages, but I'd never seen a place where they had three languages on one street sign, and I thought that was so cool. All right, and then I think maybe just one more note, and I might call her finished. Okay, what do we think? Does she look pretty? Does she look mischievous? Does she look magical? She was magical. She was a magical person. Aw, thank you. Thank you. If you wind up deciding to do the Patreon and get the traceable, or if you want to freehand your own and you do your own piece, I want to see the outcome. I want to see the outcome of this. Maybe on a different stream, I'll show some of the outcomes of some of the painting classes that I've taught in person. Some of those are really fun. All right. And yeah, I think we're going to call it. She's finished. Oh, I'm sure that you can find all of your speaking words. But yeah, she's finished. She's sparkly. In doing this, we can kind of see that a little bit better, how shiny that is under light. I can't say enough good things about using iridescent mediums.